Hi Earthlings, I'm Trice, and in this video I am going to show you the secret formula for proven ways to maximize money and wealth by harnessing the power of the law of attraction in 3 easy steps. It works like magic. Give it a try. The first step is you have to set a goal or an intention for exactly how much money you want to manifest and exactly when you want it to be manifested by. Now there's a couple caveats to this. I might say, well, I want to manifest $1 million tomorrow, but my belief system will not allow me to believe that that's possible. Even in my biggest fantasy, I just can't make that leap. So you have to pick a number that is on the edge of your belief system. It's possible, but it's wickedly ambitious. For example, I had a client, they were drowning in student loan debt and feeling very defeated. The debt was like $93,000. I said, well, let's forget about the debt for a second and just imagine we're going to pay off $20,000 in 3 months, which would have been over 600 times faster than usual. They're like, yeah, that would increase my belief. That would make me think that I could get out of this. So we did that. We set the intention 3 months from today. So I think that would have been October 1st. And exactly how much money we were going to pay, $20,000. The first 2 months passed and they had already paid $16,000. They got an unexpected raise. Her mom gave her $5,000 just out of the clear blue sky, and their tax return came in. Now you might be like, well, that doesn't count. Guys, we were talking, this was August. What tax return comes in August? When I first suggested this to my clients, they weren't like hook, line, and sinker and say, yeah, let's do that. But I said, your mind is a searching, seeking machine. What you seek, you shall find. Just think about it. If we ask ourselves, how can we attract more money? And ask yourself right now, how can you attract more money? What does your mind naturally do if you allow it? It will seek and look for the answer. Well, I guess I could work more. Even if you don't want to do that, it will start looking for ideas unless you turn that switch off and say, yep, all the suggestions offered up suck. You have to be open to receive different inputs. And the biggest resistance they had to doing it was that they thought the only way that money could come in was by working harder, which they could not. They have a couple kids, they're working full time, they're doing homeschool, la-di-da-da-da. The universe doesn't work in the way of thinking, the way of logic. It works in the way of energy and output. So our limited mind traps us saying, we only can get more money by working harder if it fell from the sky. But when we're flowing with the universe and just putting the intention out, how can I attract more money? The universe will lead you to the answer. If you don't believe me, because it does sometimes feel unbelievable, you have to be brave enough to give it a try. Now that you put the intention out, it's not worth a hill of beans unless you do this next step. You have your intention, it's specific, you have your time limit, you have the exact dollar amount that you are expecting to receive. Your only job is to look for it to show up. And you might be like, how do you look for it? When I do financial planning, I start with something concrete. We were looking at their budget. Those clients that I talked about, in the first 2 months, they got about $16,000. So we had $4,000 to go in 30 days. And of course, they're like, well, we've gotten all the gifts we expect to receive, la-di-da-da-da. I just want to clarify, they did not expect to receive the $5,000 gift from their mom. Their mind was totally tapped and couldn't even expect an unexpected gift again. I said, just keep putting out the intention. Don't dick up the signal. We were looking at their budget and I said, well, what about your rent? When does the lease come up? And they actually said, it's actually due this month. But we've already had a talk to the landlord and they said that we wouldn't raise our rent and we committed to pay what we're paying now. And I said, well, did you sign anything? They said, no. Then you haven't committed to anything. You've had a verbal conversation about it. Now, they really did not want to do this. But I suggested we ask them if they can lower the rent. If we could have 3 months rent, if they could lower the rent by $500, anything. And the wife flat out said no. And the husband said, well, I'll give it a shot. So I wrote a detailed email telling them exactly what to say. Now, what do you think happened? Do you think that landlord said, hell no, at first? But he did acquiesce and gave them $300 off their monthly rent. And it's all because they set out that intention. They looked for possibilities, that's all. They looked for possibilities. They didn't even see the possibility there, but it was there. You see how it can look two ways? The same thing can look two ways. And they asked. In order to get what you want, you have to be open to asking, believing, and receiving. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's going to be something that's holding you back, but sometimes seeing it allows you not to get swept up with it. You have everything you need to succeed, but I'm going to tell you what might pop up. Resistance! And resistance will come up in many different ways. It will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like giving up. And if you give up, you won't get anything and you won't see the proof in the pudding. For example, the clients that set out the intention with the $20,000, they wanted to give up after they got the 16. They're like, well, we got there and we really don't see how anything else can happen. And I reminded them, I said, guys, we didn't see how it would happen in the first place. It's this unknown, it's the opposite way we've been taught in the Western world. That when we have the ducks lined up and we know what we're doing, then we can think things will work out. This is the complete opposite of this. This is more like you put your energy or your vibe out, and then you look for it to show up, and then you follow the thread. So even though they're now about $1,200 away from their target, I said the goal is to continue to put out the intention. And the answer will often show up covered in fear, like they didn't want to ask their landlord for a discount. How can knowing this help you? I don't know if it'll help you, but it really helped me. For example, when I was a waitress, it always helped if I knew the client was ratty before I got to the table. If I thought they were ratty and in a bad mood, it was easier for me to be like, you know what? I got this. But if I was surprised, I felt overwhelmed, I felt thrown off my game, I felt insulted. So this is the same thing with fear. Expecting it to show up, you can start to reframe it as, haha, I have found the secret door. If I go through this, I shall be triumphant. The portal of fear is usually the fastest way to more abundance. And if you would like a little help, I have a free worksheet that you can download, how to uncover hidden money blocks to make it a little easier to jump through that portal. I also am doing a live 6-week workshop and offering the first session free. So you can give it a try, see if it's right for you without any risk. If you're interested in those types of things, all the goodies are in the description below. And until next time, I kiss you. Ciao.